Have you ever wished that you could live in Hope Valley? Well, now the next best thing. The Wind Calls the Heart Elite Edition. With over 70 hours of bonus content on 36 DVDs. Bloopers, deleted scenes, and even never-before-seen episodes. You can find it online or at your local Walmart.
The Wind Calls the Heart After Show. With exclusive, never-before-seen interviews shot on location in Hope Valley as they were filming Wind Calls the Heart. Join the cast and the crew as they give you a first-hand, behind-the-scenes look at what it took to make Season 13 a reality. And now the host of the Wind Calls the Heart After Show, Elliot Wallach.
Hi everyone, welcome to the Wind Calls the Heart After Show. Here we are, this is Season 13, Episode 5. You guys believe that? We're almost halfway there. I hope you guys have really enjoyed these. If you do, please like and subscribe and comment. I don't understand the math behind it, but apparently if you comment, all of our dreams will come true. So please do comment. Now, if your dreams are coming true this season, for Season 13, it might be because you're getting a lot more Lee Coulter, because that's always a good thing. Tiffany is with the always hilarious Kevin Smith to talk about just that.
So Lee has a lot going on this season. He's expanding his construction business into Benson Hill.
Because he needed more jobs.
I know.
Yeah.
There was a moment, though, where I felt like we talked about this. I can't remember what season it was, but we felt like he didn't really have, the lumber was going okay, but he needed another mission.
Yeah.
And so clearly that you must have said that to the writers, because they've given you some missions now. You have a lot.
I've been saying that to the writers for a while. More purpose, more things that are meaningful and mean things to him. And years and years ago, many writers ago, we went on a journey with Lee where he was going to find something to do that gave his life more meaning, not just his relationship. And it sort of ebbed and flowed and hemmed and hawed. And now here we are. And I think this ended up being a great, purposeful thing. He loses the park, or they lose the park, Goldie National Park. And this town burns down, and he takes it very personally, and he's lost. And I think the idea of deciding I'm going to turn Coulter Lumber into Coulter Construction is really interesting, and it shows him wanting to get involved and get into the fray. So I was super happy about that. And then there was another scene where Lee makes his pitch to the committee to win the bid to rebuild Benson Hills. That was a really fun scene to do.
Why was it fun?
So I walk in this day, and it's big monologue, like page and a half monologue. And Peter just says, what do you want to do? Do you want to go first or last? And anytime a director includes you in that, it feels great. It's like, yeah, awesome. Thanks for asking me that question. You feel a little bit more important. You're like, okay, I'm involved in this conversation. I feel a bit more creative. And he just let me run wild. He had one request, and that was because they want to really come in super tight. Screamer. We don't do these on our show very often, and I think I've had 4 this season, but a screamer is when you come in really close, so you're getting right into the eyes. And he said that you can do whatever you want in the scene, except for that last bit when we're moving in, and then you can't do anything, because it's going to be right up close, and any movement, any blinking, anything is just too much. So couldn't do anything. So it was interesting. Act, blah, blah, and now stay still and don't do anything.
So there was another impactful scene, and Pascal mentioned it at the Hearties family reunion.
Yes.
The jail scene.
Yeah.
She said she didn't think you guys could have done it in the same way years ago.
I think she's right. I think it was an interesting thing. One thing that Pascal and I do, we don't generally give each other compliments. I think there's a little bit of competition there. Oh. Just a little bit. Subversive, but there.
Yeah.
And I just think that in the last couple of years, it's more just super supportive. Like, it's kind of just, that competitive part is just slowly ebbing. And now it's just all about, what can I do to get the best out of you? And what can you do to get the best out of me? Yeah. So I agree with her. I think that when we went into that, I read it on the page and just thought, yeah, it's fine. It's a good little scene, but I didn't see any of the magic that really, I think, came from she and I working so closely together for so many years and being such good friends that those little silences that played in that scene, unrehearsed really, and not necessarily written, we chose where to put them, is just, you can't get it without the depth of the relationship. It was interesting to ride it and just sort of feel like, it's like being in a marriage. And you have I went on a date night with my wife last night. We went and saw a movie, and we were just sitting there like giddy school kids, like kids are at home eating leftovers and we're at a movie. And we just kept smiling and holding each other's hand. It's kind of like that. It wouldn't have meant much without all the depth of the relationship and my marriage and the kids and the house and all that stuff and the 2.5+ decades of time together. It's the same thing for Pascal and I. Sometimes these scenes take on a new life just because of the life we've already led.
Do you recognize it in the moment when it's happening, or is it after you're done?
I think there's a feel, like there's a hush, I think, that descends as you're doing it. And it's not really audible. It's more of a feel thing. And you're just kind of looking up at her. Scenes stretch out a little bit when they're good. And they take their time and just kind of looking and checking in once in a while. And you're like, this is fun. This is really fun. And so I had said to someone earlier today that this job is not always as artistic as I thought it was going to be when I set out from the theater world. But every once in a while, you get some scenes that you still get those same feels from, where you're like, this is cool. So I think Pascal's right. Part of the reason why we couldn't have done that scene as well we could have done a fine job of it, I'm sure, and maybe only she and I would know the difference.
Right.
But all that time together builds depth, and it's kind of hard to cheat.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And he's under a lot of stress this season.
Mm-hmm.
And we see that in one of the episodes
Yes.
where we think he has a heart attack.
Yes.
Yeah. Tell me about that dynamic, that scene.
Yeah. Well, that was actually a storyline that I pitched.
Oh, really?
And I sent it to Kevin first. And I said, what do you think about it? And he goes, does it make me seem old? And I said, people have heart attacks at all kinds of ages. And he was like, well, maybe it's not like a real heart attack. Like maybe we think it's a heart attack and then it's not actually a heart attack. And which is ultimately the storyline that we went with, but it is brought on by stress. Yeah. And I thought it's taking what was already happening in the script, which was Lee was taking on so many roles, so many jobs in the town, that for that not to catch up with somebody would be a miracle, right? Like that is a lot of pressure and a lot of responsibility for one person. So it seemed really warranted and natural.
So she was telling me, we talked about the heart attack scene. So
Yes.
Lee is under a lot of stress.
Yes.
She said this was an idea that she pitched. Is that true?
No, I pitched the idea.
Oh, maybe she told me you pitched.
Okay, yes.
No, that's not what she told me.
She's working on her own tequila line.
Okay.
So let's not trust what she says. I came up with the idea for a heart attack, and she robustly turned it down. So you're too old to play roles where a person has a heart attack because it's too believable and they'll kill you off. I was like, oh, and then I see that, Lee's having a heart attack. That was my idea.
That is funny.
Yes, I talked to the writers about it. That was definitely my idea.
Yeah, and she said the exact opposite. That you said, they'll think,
It makes me so angry. I just can't believe it. I'm so disappointed in her. Houton. You know she's actually French? Pascal Houton.
Is she? No.
No. But she lies like a French person. I'm kidding. No offense to the French people. Love them. I speak French myself.
So you end up having an anxiety. So apparently the heart attack was out the window, but it will do anxiety.
Yes, they didn't want to go with the heart attack.
Yeah.
They thought that was a little too, so anxiety attack. Now, I have had similar things to anxiety, panic attacks. And believe it or not, it's pretty wild. It's a wild experience. I have teenage boys, so
I know.
that'll give you anxiety.
Totally.
And it feels like what I imagine a heart attack would feel like. And I do remember that when it came to it, Peter came up to me And I don't know if I've mentioned this yet, but Peter has OCD. And he wanted very specifically, this is how we're going to play it. I want you to watch this and I want you to do that. And after I waited and said, sorry, what was that again? We decided that he wanted to be very understated. Very, not like falling over,
Right.
but really just kind of a look and I something's wrong, I'm off. And I'm like, perfect. That's exactly the way I've felt it myself. So that's what we did. And I thought it was a good choice.
Yeah.
I think I'm not the only one that if Lee Coulter had a heart attack and left the show that I would have a heart attack. And I don't know if there'd be any legal ramifications. Miranda McDougall could let us know, though. She's been studying a lot of lawyering in her role in When Calls the Heart. Let's take a look.
Did you do any research about lawyering?
Of course.
You did?
I did, yes,
Okay.
yes. Well, especially in the 1920s too.
Yeah.
And as a woman. And obviously lots have changed. Lots has stayed the same as well. And I think that the keenness with which I like to look at Edie, you know, she's been a lawyer for some time, but she's not that old. So she is still relatively new to this position and someone who is still curious to learn about, you know, how best to serve her clients. I think that the way that she's written is such that she's kind of a keener, right? And she probably, if someone said in law school to read 3 chapters, she read 5. And if it was memorize this list of jargon, she memorized this and this and this. So I think that kind of that A student mentality is alive and well in her. And that's something, yeah, the obsessive A student it's not far from my own reality, but that's okay.
A little bit of you.
A little bit of keenness, yes. I've tried to let that go a little over time, but no, I see that a bit, yeah.
Is there, besides that, are there other parts of you that are in this character?
That's a great question. Yeah, I think the loyalty to family, I know I've said that before too, and just like the appreciation of family. I'm really close to my family, and I know that's something that while Edie doesn't actually have much family left at all, like the people who raised her are now gone. Right. And I'm fortunate that that's not my case, but I think of how devastating that would be on one hand, but also how I think prepared I would feel to carry on in my life and you know, continue to try to do well by like myself and the people that made me who I am. So I think that's important to her. I see that. I think she's witty and funny, and I like being, you know, I like being witty and funny. And,
you are.
I like a quick little quippy interaction is fun. So
yeah. And we see that between the character and Lucas. I mean, that's, you guys have that kind of
totally. Yeah, it's fun. It's
yeah.
fun. I grew up with a lot of like quick-witted and funny people, so I feel like it was always, you know, we had to keep up. Right?
Siblings?
I have 3 brothers, yes.
Oh, okay.
Mm-hmm.
Older or younger?
I'm the eldest, so they're 3 younger brothers, and just a really big family and lots of like cousins and aunts and uncles, and you had to be smart to get your word in, otherwise we'll just keep going.
Yes, right. Yeah. Putting those boys in their place.
Exactly. Yeah. Exactly.
So in episode 3, we see Lucas is supposed to show up for Edie at that meeting that she's going to have, and he kind of stands her up. How is Edie feeling about this? And it kind of starts to...
How dare he?
I know.
I think she's disappointed. I think she's, you know, she is someone who, if she says she's going to be somewhere, she shows up. And I think she expects that of the people who are closest to her. And that was quite a letdown because it meant a lot. And I don't know if it was quite a test, but I think early in the relationship, maybe it was a little bit of a, okay, things are looking kind of good. Let's see if he'll go out on this limb or this and this. And I think she's let down when he isn't there. And also not even for her, but just for the people of Benson Hills and the people that she's representing. I think that she's someone who could maybe put her own feelings aside, or at least kind of mask them a little bit. But I think when it comes to letting down a whole group of people who've already lost everything, I think that's something that a bridge she just can't really cross.
Yeah, she's very upset. Very upset. I don't feel like it's totally justified, if I'm being honest, because he did still try and make the dinner, or the meeting after the dinner, and they all went home early. And he didn't know that they were going to be going home early. And it's this fine line where if Lucas wants to be in a place where he can he can inject change, he needs to remain in that place. And so he needs to take the time when the opportunities arise to kind of stay in that lane. And this was one of those situations where Edwin last minute corners him and says, hey, so-and-so's in town. You need to, he could really help with your campaign. And so Lucas decides, okay, am I going to try and do both? Which I'm very familiar with. I think I try and do that too much myself. But he tries to do both. And then, as you'll see, the man is what he is. And Lucas says, I've had enough of this. I need to get over to the meeting. And then they all left. And so he beats himself up about it. He's frustrated that the logistics of his sort of political role are trying to navigate that, or are getting in the way of kind of a grassroots attempt to help people on the ground and let them all down. So it's a frustrating moment for him. It didn't work out in his favor.
Edie starts to give him the cold shoulder. Do you think that she's justified in that?
I think so. A little bit. Yes, enough. I think that, yes, we see her working through her feelings in real time. And I think she is hurt. And I think that she's not someone who will go maybe right to that kind of vulnerability, and instead will just put up this wall that I think she's worked hard to peel back, but it shows how quickly it can kind of go back up when she feels hurt or wronged or let down or embarrassed, right? I think there's like a little bit of embarrassment of not having this person that you care about show up for you. Yeah. So I think that she's justified in the cold shoulderness to an extent, but I think that, there is an underlying trust that can't really be erased at this point. So I think the cold shoulderness, while it may be superficial, I do think that it's something that hurt her, and she just needed a little bit of time and perhaps some other evidence that this is the person who she thought he was.
Well, now that she's lost the ranch, she gets to move into the saloon.
Yeah.
And you guys got to do a little bit of a stunt, right? You're moving the furniture up the stairs?
Yes. So Edie takes over Mike and May's apartment. There's a cute little scene where Mike gives her the key to her new place, and she's going to be staying there. And she runs into Lucas at the saloon, and this is at a point where they're still not really talking, but they're maybe working a bit toward some forgiveness.
Yeah.
And Lucas offers the extra desk that he has lying around. And she says, no, I don't need your desk. It's fine. I can make do. And he insists. And so there's this whole desk moving debacle that goes on. So they move the desk from the saloon all through town with all the people watching and whispering about what's going on. And so they move the desk, and they land at the cafe, they bring it into the cafe, and they bring it up the stairs. And it's a very heavy desk, and this is two people, and Edie's wearing her nice heels. So maybe there's a slip, and maybe there's a drop, and maybe she drops a desk on this man that she maybe likes, maybe doesn't. And I think she feels really bad about that.
Well, there was quite a contraption. Sammy, who I think you were talking to.
Yes, I did talk to.
Yeah, rigged up something crazy with Brett, our stunt coordinator, and they had this giant desk, but then it was on hinges, and it also had cables running up to it, and they had kind of safeguards so it would fall, but it would have a stop point. And we did it from a bunch of different angles, and the contraptions they use varied based on what angle we were shooting it from. But it was fun, and I remember we shot it, and then they said cut, and everyone was like, "Oh my God, are you okay?" I said, "Yeah, I'm fine." Like that didn't hit you? I said, "No, didn't hit me." And they went, "Okay," because it looked pretty close. And then a couple of days later, I came out of the shower, and I caught my back in the mirror. I'm like, "What did I do to my back?" And I realized, oh, that's just a giant bruise from hitting my back on the wall, however many times. But there was padding. I was fine. It didn't hurt at all. It just, when you get a bruise, there's no pain, but you're not.
Yeah, you don't know. You see it, and you're like, all right, I bumped into something.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Cool.
Well, you're kind of used to. I mean, you do jujitsu, and you're kind of falling and.
No, I like it. I actually always wanted to do my own stunts, and sometimes it takes some convincing.
They don't want you to do it.
No, I think stunt coordinators, if I can generalize, are a little dubious when an actor's like, "Oh, I can do it myself." I'm like, yeah, okay, we have professionals for that. Yeah. But occasionally I get to do stuff myself, and it's always fun.
Was there discussion of you not doing this particular stunt?
Not in this case. No, I think
Okay.
they want me to do it.
Were you nervous? Like when you first had to do it, did you think maybe it is going to hit me?
No.
Oh, okay.
No. They do such a great job of making you feel at ease and comfortable, and they'll walk you through everything and, drop it down. It's loud. It certainly made a bang, makes you jump.
Yeah.
Again, these stunts this year felt like they were seamless enough. And obviously, I feel like it's always Chris who's taking a beating or having to do these crazy things. So yes, I do volunteer to have a desk dropped on me next season. Okay. Peter DeLuise was directing that episode, and along with stunts, it was pretty well orchestrated. The desk was on, I believe it was, we pieced it out, obviously. So we got the pieces of the reactions and the pieces of the desk kind of pretend falling and getting the reaction of Chris kind of like lodged inside underneath this desk on the stairs. And then I believe, and Chris will probably remember because it was happening to him, but I believe that there was like an invisible line that was holding the desk, and then it dropped at such an angle that he would be completely safe underneath it. So it sounded really scary, and his reaction was great. Like he really sold it. I was watching on the monitor with our script supervisor, and I was like, "Oh my God, I think that they just dropped it on him." But no, that was just
wow,
the magic of the stunt. Yeah.
Oh. It's sort of, when I read it, it sort of reminded me of the Friends episode when they're moving the couch.
We had to.
Did you guys?
Well, so Peter directed this episode, and we may have snuck in a pivot or two.
Did you? Oh,
maybe you'll have to see. I don't know if it'll make it, but we maybe did. Yes. Okay. Lucas gets checked out at the infirmary. He's fine. She brings him some flowers to apologize, and I think that, again, it's always like that the mutual vulnerability is what takes these characters to the next level of their relationship. And I think seeing the kindness that Lucas had shown her to help move this desk, and her guilt for dropping a desk on him kind of levels the playing field, and she's able to tell him how she feels. I think she's really brave in that moment, and says, he asks her while they're moving the desk, "Why did you come back to Hope Valley?" And she said, "Because I like the people here." And I think we all know there's obviously a little bit more than that. Yeah, she's honest with how she feels, and says, she likes spending time with Lucas, and he agrees. He likes spending time with her, and we kind of leave it there for that episode. Yeah.
Do you think this is a turning point for them, possibly?
I think it is. Yes. I think this is something that it feels like one of the more momentous steps in the relationship that has kind of grown over the past 2 years or so.
Romantic moments abound this season, and even Oliver and Allie may be getting caught up in that, much to the chagrin of Mountie Nathan Grant. Kevin McGarry's here to talk about it.
There is a theme of young love with Oliver, played by Jacob, and Allie, played by Jada. And it's very sweet, but it's not Nathan's favorite thing to witness, watching his daughter kind of, grow up and becoming a young woman. He kind of gives the gears a little bit to Oliver when he sees that he's pinning something on her, getting a little too close. And the tough thing for Nathan, I think, is that he knows Oliver's a good kid. He's just not ready to kind of let Allie go yet. So, I mean, that's just a classic, dad thing. And we've seen it so many times in lots of other shows, but it's a lot of fun to play. I think they'll probably go further with that stuff as we move on with seasons of the show. Because we've kind of played a little bit with it last season too, and Allie was kind of being courted by the super cool Wyatt and the nerdy Oliver,
Right.
So yeah, I think as this goes forward, we'll probably see more of it with Nathan. But yeah, it was fun to play. I mean, yeah, Jada's great, Oliver's great. Jada's great and Jacob's great. And yeah, I think they bring a lot to the season, and I saw some stuff, and it's really sweet. And it's Jada's sitting right there. Yeah. I'm not just looking at anybody on this side. And yeah, I think the fans are really going to enjoy it.
I really liked the scene where Oliver shows me the mosasaur tooth, and then Nathan comes up on his horse and is like, "What are you doing?" And then we're kind of like, "Nothing." It was really funny the way that happened. And then he's like, "Allie," I'm like, "Dad," you know. So I think it shows a little bit more of how Nathan is concerned for Allie. She's growing up a bit, you know. He's got to let go a little more, and there's that pushback. So I think it shows growth in their relationship and also growth in, you know, Oliver and Allie's relationship.
Yeah. Kevin was saying that because your character is doing more with Oliver and sort of having these other storylines, that you're not with him as much.
I know.
And he misses that, like kind of just having his buddy with him.
Yeah, but don't worry. We've had some days together this season, more in the last half, that it's just been us all day. So don't worry. There is some good stuff. Yeah, we just spread it out a bit more so he doesn't get sick of me, you know? Not that he would, obviously.
No, I don't think he would. I just remember seeing a video of you and you ran up, you were little, and you ran up and maybe you were fixing his belt. Or it was so cute. I mean, just that relationship that the two of you have.
Yeah.
Did it click right away?
Yes. Yeah. I remember even in, like, we did a chemistry read where I read with Kevin, and he was like just joking with me like right when I first met him. And I was like, this guy's hilarious. So we clicked instantly. Yeah, he's great. He's just been a joy to hang out with all these years. Like, who else could have been the best set dad? You know what I mean? Like,
True.
Yeah, he's great.
And then because you started as a young kid, did you learn from them? Did they ever give you sort of acting advice or life advice maybe even?
Yeah, I talk to Aaron and Kevin all the time. Like, yeah, so all the time we're chatting about everything. I mean, you spend hours and hours a day with these people. Like, you gotta talk about something, you know?
There's some other changes too with growing with the kids, and that's little Jack, who wants to be called LJ.
I know. Can you blame him?
No.
At a certain point, kids just kind of go, I don't know if I want that cutesy nickname anymore.
I'm not a baby.
I get it.
Yeah.
But it's, I think, relatable and tough for parents everywhere. So, yeah, little Jack says, I'm not little and I don't want to be called little. Yeah. And I think it's beautiful and touching that Elizabeth and the rest of the community is so quick to say, we're going to call you whatever you want to be called. Yeah, you're your own person. And if you want a different name, we're going to call you that name.
And how did you settle on LJ? Whose idea was that?
Well, I mean, we talked about it, but it is a name that we have been calling little Jack just as shorthand when we're talking about scenes and story behind the scenes. And so it made a lot of sense. It was an easy transition for us. And I think through the story, we mentioned that Nathan had been calling him LJ. And so it's sweet that it is a nickname that comes from Nathan.
Do you have a nickname that you go by? Or do you go by...
My parents call me Highlander.
So what do you think about little Jack's new nickname? Do you know what his new nickname is?
LJ.
Was that your idea?
I'm joking, it was. In the show, it was.
You did that with such a straight face. Yes, you're right. In the show, it was your idea. Yeah, because why? He doesn't want to, he feels like he's not little anymore.
Yeah. But I don't get it, because it's kind of weird, because, like, the L still stands for little in it. So,
you make a good point.
Yeah.
So what is the most fun for you when you come to set? What do you like about it? Because you have a cool job. Not very many kids get to do this.
Well, it's just really fun here. On my first day, no one was coming to work that day, and it was like, and everyone was off for that day, and then I was like, Dad, I need to go to work. I want to go to work. And then I just kept going on about it until the day finally happened, and then I was like so excited to be there, and almost everyone was there, actually.
Did anybody do any pranks?
Well, everyone knows I play pranks.
You do?
Yeah, I played one today, actually.
You did? What did you do?
Well, my parents got me some new fake poop. And there was like 8 of them.
8 fake poops?
Yeah.
Okay.
And
different shapes, sizes, all the same.
Well, there were different shapes and sizes.
Yeah. What did you do with those?
Okay, so I took 3 of them and I put them on someone's stair. Well, I put it on 3 people's stair because there's 3 poos.
Okay.
So can you guess who did it?
Whose stairs you put it on?
Yeah.
Kevin.
Yep. I give him the biggest one.
Yeah. Did he fall for it? Did he when he came out, were you waiting? Yep. Were you hiding to see when he came out?
Yeah.
You were?
Everyone fell for it.
They did?
Yeah.
What did they do when they saw it?
They all screamed.
And then did they see you hiding? Did they know you did it?
Yeah.
They knew right away you did it?
They knew right away I did it.
They did?
Because I always prank.
Fake poo, it's got to be Highland.
And the other 2 people I did it to was Aaron.
I knew it.
And Jada.
You did?
Yeah.
What are the other pranks you've done?
I think last season I gave Jada a candy, but the thing she didn't know was that it was a very, very spicy candy.
Oh, it was?
And when I ate it, it like burned my mouth for hours.
Did you eat it before you gave it to her, so you knew, or you didn't really know?
No, I ate it. I ate it at my house, and then my dad pranked me with it, and then I said, "Let's prank Jada when we get to work tomorrow," and then we did it, and yeah, it's really funny.
I think your house is fun.
Yeah.
I think you guys have a good time there.
Yeah.
Has anybody played a prank on you on the set?
I don't think I can remember pranks anyone has played on me.
Yeah.
Actually, I'm not sure if anyone has played any pranks on me.
I predict there might be a prank in your future because you put poo on 3 people's steps.
And also, this season, and I mean this season, I caught 2 frogs.
What?
In one day.
No.
Yeah.
Get out of here. Where? Okay, I'm going to guess in the pond.
No.
No?
It was like a really damp day and it was like really wet and frogs like were hopping all about. You know, in those horse things.
Troughs?
Yeah. I found one in a crack of one of those. And also that day, when I released it, I saw something moving in the grass.
Snake?
And it was like blending in.
Oh no.
It wasn't a snake.
Okay, good.
It was brown. And it was about this big. And you'll never believe what it was.
Tell me.
Another frog!
2 frogs in one day?
Yep.
At the same time?
Yep.
Wow. Where did you put them?
Well, I just held them in my hand the whole time.
You didn't keep them?
We released them both.
Yeah. It could have been a good prank. Maybe keep that in your back pocket not the frog. But when you catch another frog, maybe you can use it as a prank. Just saying. Thanks for sitting down with me.
Yep.
It was fun.
Okay, bye.
Okay, bye.
And with the amazing Highland Goodrich, that concludes the When Calls the Heart after show. If you love the after show and bonus content, you will find a ton on the When Calls the Heart Elite Edition. You can find that today, right now, waiting for you at your local Walmart. You can also find the Season 13 Collector's Edition at whencallstheheart.com. We always like to bring you lots of bonus content. We'll bring you more next week for the When Calls the Heart Season 13 after show.